Welcome to another episode of my PvP commentaries. This time we are having a support Tempest gameplay match. I'm playing Earth trade line. I have a build guide about this on my YouTube channel, be sure to check that out. Let's first start with explaining our team comp. So we have a side loading, hopefully side loading Spellbreaker. We have a Condition Reaper, classic build. We have a Willbender, very classic build, and we have a Herald. So it's actually a quite decent comp, that's why I rolled for support in this match. And the enemy team doesn't have that great of a comp, they don't have a support, but they have a power, really aggressive, untamed, and I would say all the team is actually quite aggressive. So let's see how it goes. So typically as a Tempest you can stack Swiftness at the beginning of the match, but I noticed we have a Herald, so I don't stack, but sadly, our Herald leaves instantly, and therefore I can't stack, didn't stack Swiftness, and we didn't get the Swiftness. I had to use my Force skill here, but it doesn't matter in the end. So the idea here is to get to the point faster and also help the team a little bit spread across the map a little bit more. So we have a classical split here in mid. My team goes far as well, so we have a 3-point split. The enemy team is a little bit, I'm not sure, stealthing, disengaging. I try to help my Necro because he's the prime target, and I actually get a nice overload and just try to help him kite. I instantly noticed this guy is a very good player, so I try to help them. We are in a 2v2, it's not something that you want to be in as a support typically, especially if the enemy team doesn't have a support in the 2v2, they have mostly more damage. And we instantly lose our Willbender in the off points, so that's not good, but I have to help my Necromancer here, which is a really bad position to be in. The Willbender pushes far, loses the 1-on-1 and re-engages at close, which is good. That's a good rotation because they will get the kills there hopefully in a 3v2, but we are outnumbered on the map, or at least until they get back. So we have to play really carefully here at mid. So that's why I try to help my Necromancer. They are really fighting quite well and they get the point here, but we still have a really decent position here. Even though we lost the map with this setup, the Necromancer gets the decap at mid, and I noticed that my team is actually losing the 3v2 rather. So it's really sad in this position, otherwise it would have been a quite decent map state. But now we have to make a really bad decision to either help our team being again outnumbering, or abandoning them and trying to help our Necromancer maybe, if there will be just a rotation into them, but the Necromancer just goes for the decap and also goes far, which is a valid decision. My team now is in a, I would say, with the kill on the Herald here, in a not a very good position because we are in a 3 versus 4 or 5, depending what the enemy team rotates. And that's not a very good position. I want to get the rest here. I will get it with the stability and the Earth one, but I have to disengage with my Lightning Flash and my team instantly dies again. So it's not very useful. I'm not sure if I should have gone for the rest here, because they will die instantly again, and I now try to disengage with it, which is a good thing to do if you know your team is losing. Always disengage, it's really important. Even if you're support, do not die for your team if that's already dead, so don't do that. So it's really important here, don't push into the enemy team that is 4 people stacked. So I try to just cover my Necromancer and survive. We are in a really bad position now. My team is, I don't know, constantly feeding at close. Our Necromancer has a 1-on-1 against the Untamed, and I'm here and trying to get the decap again, which is actually working out quite well because I have so many CCs. I can hold the Willbender on off point and get the decap, and now I just push and help my teammates, which is here also again in a 1v2. Not a very good position to be in. Like I said, 2v2s is not something you want to be in as a support. More like 3v3s or even 5v5s, 4v4s, that's more for you. And then we are here outnumbered, so I try to survive while still getting some healing to my ally here. Just kiting a little bit, maybe using my CC a bit, and of course always my auras. I survive for now, but I get engaged upon and die. So that is classical against Willbenders, they can port from everywhere against up onto you, and it's happening, but my team doesn't get the Willbender, so I tried to make it work. They might have get the counter kill, but my team dies, and it's a really bad position. So this match looks really, really dire, and it is at this point, definitely. But, and that's really important, never give up. Even in this position you can come back. Our Necromancer, you can see here on the right side of the screen, wins the 1-on-1 against the Untamed, really good. Got decapped, but it's fine. If you don't die and get the kill, it's worth it. So always go for kills first. And the enemy team has the 2 points, so our close and the midpoint. It's a really bad position. So we have to regroup here. Our Guardian doesn't do that. They just run in and will probably die again in a few seconds, just because Willbender can't sustain against 2 or 3 people. Willbender helps now our Necromancer, which is good, but the Necromancer might not have enough just damage to help our Willbender, but it works out because the enemy team is just over-rotating to our close node. So it's only a 2v2 here. I decide to go for the decap here, which is not something that you normally would do, but I noticed that I don't have any cliff and I can't rest the Willbender, so it doesn't really matter. Like I expected, the Willbender just died way too fast. The Necromancer is kiting very well here, and we even got almost a kill on the Herald here. So our Warrior here is capping, which is obviously really weird. It makes sense to cap, but we could also get the kill on the Harbinger here. So it's an interesting decision, you can make that, but normally it's better to go for the kill first and then cap. So we go for the Harbinger now here's 3 people. It's a kill for sure. And now we have to decide where to go, either go close or far. I decide for going for close, but I see that my matchup is winning, so that's fine. So we can stick here at close. And at this point of the match, my team, or at least I, make the decision, and then I'd say most of the team as well, that we have to go for 2 points only to win this match. Because as soon as we push for 3 points, our team is split too much, and they, especially the Guardian and the Warrior, they died way too fast. So I can't help them all the time. So we have to go for 2 points only so that we have a little bit more agency in the fights that we are in. So now I try to support my Reaper again. They are kiting very well. We can sustain the damage that they get. We are against 3 people here, but one of them decides to go for the decap. I try to decide and port on point just to contest it to get a little bit more points because we are so behind. But I noticed fast that I can't sustain that and just leave. Try to see if my team needs help at close, but it doesn't look to be the case, so I stay around just to be sure. But I don't push far, that's the important thing. As a support, always stick with your team, and especially in this situation, you don't want to push far because your team is not winning any 1-on-1s except the Necromancer, which is not even a 1-on-1 build. And now I try to just reinforce close, make sure that we don't get decapped here, so that we have a chance to come back. We are now 90 points or so behind, which is definitely, you can get back from that, definitely. But you have to be really aware of the map state to not lose any points, because this map is quite small, so you can easily get outnumbered. Our Willbender dies again. I have to help our Herald here because they are also outnumbered. So I could have gone for the Willbender, but I decided to go for this because we have a point here. And we get actually a kill here, which is really nice and quite surprising actually in a 2v2. But works out well in the end. So we can actually win the 2v2 from that. Like I said, the Untamed here has crazy amounts of damage. So it's a really aggressive Untamed. But I will disengage here and go for mid because I might die from that. And the team is also reinforcing here. So at this point it looks quite good. If we can hold the position like that, just 2 cap, we will win the match for sure. But like I said, you have to make sure that you win this. So I'm against the Windbuilder here, try to go into Earth just to make sure that we get the crit immunity for a bit. It's really strong against Willbender. Here I noticed that my Reaper is down port and cast meanwhile the cliff because I have retargeting on, just to make sure that I get the res. I could have gone for the water cliff, but it doesn't matter in that situation because I can resustain them, and we are quite fine here. So I should have noticed that earlier. That's a mistake on my part, that the Necromancer needs help, but I managed to salvage the situation, and now I help my team again. But I'm against the Untamed, so I decide I'm not sure if I can hold this. They have a lot of damage. I try to CC them. And my team is actually quite fine on the map, so I try to hold the point as long as I can, but they have a lot of damage, which is obviously not something. You're not a bunker build, you're support. So I try to disengage here and give up the point and help my teammates. Maybe even get the Herald down here. Our Necromancer made it work in a 1v2 very good. And I try to help them again. I noticed they are really low. I try to use the stability from the elite and rest the necromancer, which is obviously rightfully so complaining that no one helps them. I try to help them as much as I can, but of course they also need some damage to counter pressure them. We get the decap again and the cap in the mid. So it looks really good. We are at this point almost even with the points. So you could see just going for 2 cap all the time wins us the match. Even if we get some decaps on far, it's even better. But at this point, just going for 2 caps is the safe bet. And that's really important. This match is not over by a long shot, so be sure to watch it completely, because I decided to commentate this match because it's swinging back in one direction and the other one. So now I try to kite because a lot of people are engaging on me or might engage on me, and my team is helping me here now. I tried to just annoy them in the middle point. I don't contest it because I'm not a bunker build, like I said. Again, Power Herald actually engages on me. My Harbinger is also fine. And my whole team is actually now at mid, so it's a classical 5 versus 5 here. I try to just survive and help my team. They get actually a kill here, really good. We lost the point in mid, but that does not matter if we get the kills. We instantly get the decap again. So at this point, it's a very good position to be in. Just winning the team fights consistently. It's probably because our team has better damage or has a support, or both of those cases, which is totally fine to me. We just have to be aware that even though we won the 5v5, we lost the map for it because the enemy team rotated well. It just went too close and far. So at this point, we have to split up again. Either go for far, like our warrior did, but I would say 2cap would have been better. So that's why I'm writing right now in the chat. And now I'm going to go see where I need to help. My warrior notices it. They can't contest the respawns at far, so they just leave. Perfect. That's how we should be doing it. And now we are just in a 2v2 and really annoy the enemy team by not pushing into them, so they have to regroup and push into us. And we know from the previous fight that we can win a 5v5. So at this point we're in a really good position, because 3 of our people are actually chasing the enemy catalyst. So at this point we might even have an unfair fight in the next few seconds. So I try to kite here, just annoy them with CC and survive until my team reinforces here. And it's a really good position to come back from the early mistakes we made. And it's really important that you notice that what your win condition is, especially if you're playing support in unranked or in ranked. That might be really important to see. Okay, support might be really frustrating. You can see I'm dying here because no one of my team is helping me, which is fine. I try on point, die on point. I don't go into vapor form just to make sure that I die fast enough and respawn and help my team again. And my team is doing quite well. We get a kill on the other side, so it's a 4v4 now. It's a fair trade. And we are 60 points ahead, so at this point we have to just be sure that we don't lose our close point and hopefully don't lose any people on mid. I try to just go back into the mid fight. And at this point it looks quite decent, so I go for the rest. I don't go for the cliff here because we are against only one person that is almost dead already when I came, so it was nice to rotate there just to be safe, but the enemy team does not get the kill, and we go now to close point where our Revenant is in a interesting 1-on-1. It's typically not going well for the Revenant, but the enemy Catalyst is also not doing very well, so I now get focused again by the Untamed. They actually get the decap here. I could have tried to really focus on the point, but it's better to survive and help my team. We get the kill, and that's good enough. Give stability so that they can kill the downed body easier. And I go for the heal here on my warrior just to be safe, pot on them. Now I try to contest the midpoint, but we lost the whole map from this over rotation. So my whole team went to close, which is not something you should do if there's only 1 or 2 people, because then you will lose the rest of the map. Makes sense, it's really obvious. And now I try to contest the midpoint. I know that's a power harbinger, it's really aggressive, it might kill me in a few seconds, but if my team reinforces this fight in a few seconds, I might actually contest the point long enough so that we can find a fair fight. Try to CC them off point, but they just annoying me with other CCs. So I tried to go for the... Yeah, they just deal a lot of damage. I see that my teammate is dying here. I go for the cliff precast, get it, and really get almost instantly punished by just going for such an aggressive movement path. But in the end, I get the cliff and I try to disengage here just to make sure that I don't die. And it works out. I try to go for no port spot here, which works out because no one can port on me. And my team is actually cleaning up the fight now just because I got the cliff and no one died, and it's a fair fight. And at this point, the match is almost won, which is really nice. Could have been lost if we lost this fight because this map is really snowbally, but we made it work. I tried to go for some CC and reinforce the close point. At this point, we just have to hold close, even if they got mid, and yeah, close point would not matter because we have more points and we just need 1 point to tick to the end, 500. And we win this fight again, so nothing special. And just from the kills and the point picking, we should win this match. And that's how you play a support. You notice in the first few fights that your best teammate is your Necromancer, which is really good because now I can support my best teammate and of course try to help my not so good playing, well playing teammates, which is fine. In ranked you will always have a mix like this, but always seeing the win condition. 2 cap is the win condition, and therefore we could make this work and come back from the really big 100 points behind, which is not a big deal if you know how to come back, but oftentimes the team might just surrender, and that's not smart. If you notice, okay, the Necromancer is the good one, then try to help them, maybe leave them in a 1-on-1 because they might win it, and help your team on the other side of the map if there is way more likely to die. So you could see in this match I didn't play it perfect, but it was quite decent. I died too often in my opinion, but I made some nice rotations, and regarding the healing output and stuff, you could see this build is really decent right now. And yeah, I hope you found this video helpful. If you did, be sure to leave a like, and if you want to see more comments very like this or more GW2 content, be sure to subscribe. I would really appreciate it. Thanks a lot for watching, and I hope to see you in the next video.